A very good morning to you, Desiree, and to our people at home. Indeed, you are coming to us in Bisho, where the Provincial Commissioner General Ntshinga will indeed be tabling the third quarter's crime stats. As you clearly mentioned in your intro, the second quarter was really plagued with an increase of stock theft, which is really messing up with the livelihoods of rural communities in the province. One will remember that livestock trading is the lifeblood economy of the rural province such as this one. We'll remember that last quarter it was one of those major challenges which has resulted in the provincial police setting up livestock theft units across the province, particularly in the northern parts of the province where this challenge is dominant. But to tell us more about some of these interventions, we're now joined by Unati Pingose, who is the spokesperson to the MEC for Safety. Thank you very much for joining us. Tell us, what are some of the interventions that have since been put to ensure that the stock theft challenge is combated?
Stock theft challenge is one of our major headaches in the province, particularly at this time of the year. The demand for livestock reaches its peak, but we have plans in place to ensure that we are combating that scourge, because we know the impact of stock theft. It is assets to those small-scale farmers. When they lose a livestock, to them it means that they lose a livelihood. It is for that reason that we have strengthened our policing, particularly on the border areas, because we've noticed that where we share borders with our neighboring country, Lesotho, it becomes very, very rife. So we've done everything in our power to ensure that we beef up our policing efforts in that area. Of course, we have incorporated those communities as well to ensure that they play their role, to ensure that they look after their livestock. Because not only does it leads to stock theft, it becomes a headache on our roads as well when they are left roaming the streets. So we're calling on those who are livestock owners to ensure that every night they look after their cattle in particular and their sheep, to ensure that they are safe from thieves, and of course they are safe from motorists. And by doing that, they will never know how many lives they may have saved on our own. So we are working very, very hard. We can't be able to divulge everything that we have in place because we know that some of the criminals may well be watching at what we are doing now, but we want to warn them. Should we catch them, there will be serious repercussions for them.
The last time we spoke, there were challenges that the criminals were working with police. I'm sure you've attended to that as well.
It's a major headache. It's very, very embarrassing for us as a country, but we can't deny the fact that there are those who are working in collaboration and in cahoots with criminals, not just in livestock but in various other areas, and many of them have been dealt with, and many of them are serving time in jail, and you can only imagine what they are going through, spending time with the very same criminals that they have put in those places. So we are warning our law enforcement officers as well to be on the lookout, to ensure that they do not fall into that trap. We know that it's just a handful of the police officers that are being caught in that. A lot of our law enforcement officers are doing a great job, and we want to commend them for that, and we want to encourage them to work even hard and uproot criminal elements wherever they rear their ugly head, even if it's happening within the police force. Those criminals who are hiding behind the uniform are the worst criminals ever, and the police minister, Mr. Begitele, has spoken strongly about that. And here in the province, we are also working hard to ensure that we are uprooting that. We've done that even in traffic law enforcement. You'll remember not so long ago we arrested a couple of law enforcement officers who were in cahoots with criminal elements, those who were selling driver's licenses and motor licenses, and the damage that they are causing to our roads, stealing people's lives. That is what we want to deal with. So we are working very, very hard, but we want to encourage the majority of our law enforcement officers who are abiding by the law to continue doing that, and of course work hard to ensure that they uproot those who are working with criminal elements from within. But we want to call on our communities as well not to allow our law enforcement officers to be victims, rather, or to fall into these traps of working working with criminal elements. Wherever they see that happening, they are more than welcome to contact our government to ensure that we deal with that before it causes even more damage.
Lastly, Mkoma, before I let you go, there's also the issue of an increase in terms of sexual offences and contact crimes. I'm sure you've made a big breakthrough on that score as well.
Today we are here to report on our quarterly stats that are looking between the period of July 1st to September, to the end of September. It is the second quarter. It is a period that as the country we shifted from level 3 of the lockdown all the way down to level 1. Of course, we've seen some disturbing trends when it comes to sexual offences, but I'm pleased to announce, and I'm giving you a sneak preview on that, we've done very well in terms of reducing the numbers of sexual offences during this quarter. However, one sexual offence is one too many, and we are concerned. We are very disturbed at the fact that some of our sisters and mothers have had to be subjected to sexual offences and gender-based violence during this period. One will remember the one incident that happened at Mthatha, that brazen attack on a poor woman who was there to report gender-based violence, and the man who she had gone to the police station to report, walked into that police station and shot that woman dead. So we are still seeing incidents like those, but overall we are doing very well in terms of fighting the scourge of gender-based violence in the province, and of course we are pleased to see the numbers that are improving as well in the country as well. And one thing that we've noticed, I'm sure it's going to emerge from the presentation that is going to be made here, is that a lot of sexual offences are being detected before they even happen, and that is very encouraging. So we are pleased to report back that in terms of those things, as the province, we are doing well, but the aim is to eliminate such cases completely. We know it's not going to be possible if we work alone as the law enforcement in the country. We also need our communities to get on board as well and support us, because a lot of these cases happen behind closed doors where the police are unable to enter. So we encourage those to come and report those cases, and the neighbors to be on the lookout if they see any suspicion to report to us, because it's better to report on a suspicion rather than to wait until something bad really happens.
Thanks a lot, sir, for your time. And that's, of course, Unati Pingos, the spokesperson for Safety and Liaison MEC Weziwe Tikana, telling us that they've made a breakthrough when it comes to the curbing of livestock theft. He also tells us that one of the problematic areas, which is the issue of sexual offences, they've made a breakthrough on that score as well. The MEC and General will be really tabling the crime stats any moment from now. From us here in Bisho, it's back to you guys in studio.
Thank you so much for that update. Now, former President